Hello, welcome to the Matthew Allton Art channel again. I'm going to do a male nude charcoal sketch today. It's going to be on A3 paper and I'm going to be using willow charcoal for it. It's another photo of the model that I used in the last video, which was the cross-legged male nude, which was a pencil sketch in the sketchbook. But this is going to be a slightly larger one, and I'm going to revert back to charcoal. Okay, so let's see how I get on. I've put the final sketch up on the left, as I have been doing recently, so that people can see how I arrive at where I end up. As usual, just starting with a narrow piece of willow charcoal, just mark out where the figure is. Get the proportions right before trying to get any shading done. When I'm marking out like this, I tend to just look at left to right to see if things are at the same height, or vertically what lines up with what below, sort of thing, or above. So I don't actually measure, but I do sort of mentally measure the angles of arms and things. And you can sort of transfer those from the model or a photograph and move it onto the paper to get the right angle. Starting quite soft with the shadows. The model's lit from front left here, so that the light rakes across the back a little bit to show up the musculature, and that's why he's got his hands behind his head as well, just to highlight the structure of the back, the muscles. I've actually lost touch with this model, and it's been a long while since I took the photograph, so I wish I could get in touch with him to show him the final results, as he posed for me for this purpose a long time ago, and I haven't used the photos yet. I was again trying to be a bit more precise on this drawing, so rather than just do a quick hour sketch as I often do, I was trying to do something a bit more polished. Again, I'm not sure that's worked really in the end result. It took about 2 hours, I think, this actually, to be fair. I also wish that I had put the background on first in this drawing, because I ended up smudging the edges of the figure, which were quite precisely put on, as I've just mentioned, when I was adding the background cloth and that sort of thing. So I sort of did the background quite quickly compared to the figure, because it was just causing a bit of a problem for me, really. But hey ho, it's all practice, and the end result's not too bad. It could be worse. You can see that I'm using the putty rubber to erase highlights here, and adding darker shadow with the charcoal, and then using my finger to smudge, or a tortillion, both of which seem to sort of remove a lot of the charcoal, really. So that's probably why it took so long to actually get right, because I was putting stuff on in the right place and then removing it all and having to add it again. So erasability of charcoal is a good thing, but it can be a bad thing as well. And the reason I wanted to take my time with this is just to observe the musculature in the back, and it takes a while to get your eye in to see where the subtle shadows are, the ones that actually give the shape of the figure, that aren't necessarily too obvious on the photograph. You're sort of making a bit of it up based on what's there. You're exaggerating some of it, I suppose. Although it's a bigger piece of paper at A3, the figure is fairly small still, really, in terms of doing a charcoal sketch in detail. So when I come to do the hands in a minute, you'll see that they're a bit sketchy, really, because I'm not practiced at doing such minute detail in charcoal, certainly. It would have been easier in pencil from that point of view. But it's not all about being easy. It's about trying to do different things with different media. Trying to improve over time. There's a lot of titivation on this, really, as in I can't really say a lot about some of it because I'm just observing where the musculature is and then going back in and trying to do the subtle shadows, not too harsh highlights and harsh shadows. Dreaded feet and hands on this one, and those of you that follow the channel know that I'm not fond of doing either, but that's probably because I chicken out of them, or used to chicken out of them, so the fact that I'm making myself do them is a good thing. I don't know if you can see how awkward it is for me to do the top left hand side of the picture without resting my finger on the page, and of course resting the finger on the page with charcoal means that you erase half of what you've done already. Here I am trying to begin to tackle that hand, but it's actually quite difficult to do, so it works so small. Maybe with more practice I'll get better at that sort of thing. It really is a case of trying to indicate, really, the shapes. Very difficult to erase highlights of the fingers, you know, with the putty rubber. You can make it quite small and sort of tapered, but it's just not easy to do at all. Finally attempting the feet, which again are at a funny angle. I keep doing feet at funny angles, just to test myself thoroughly. It's quite interesting watching this back as you were watching it, in that I can see things that are wrong and still need fixing, and probably how to fix them when I'm actually not concentrating on it. Just trying to indicate what's going on, because you can't really indicate toes and things with even a narrow piece of charcoal. They look half feet like. And this is now where it's difficult, because I'm now going to put some of the shadows under the body in, and as I'm doing that I'm rubbing the edge of the drawing, so I would just wish I'd have started by putting the background in first, or at least some of it. The model sitting on a white sort of mattress with a sheet on it, with a back cloth as normal for a lot of these photographs. You can see it's quite difficult for me to put the folds of the cloth in behind the model now, in those little gaps between the arms and stuff, without erasing stuff that I've already done, which is a bit of a shame really, but maybe I'll learn for next time. Trying to indicate the weight of the model on the mattress, pressing the mattress in and denting it, just putting some indication of the sort of folds on the cloth on the mattress edge there. Adding highlights and with a putty rubber, and adding a bit more charcoal to the back where I've seen issues. Indicating the darkness under the bed or the mattress. Just about finished now. Well, here's the final sketch. Overall, the body's not too bad. The background's a bit poor, but then I've explained the reasons for that really. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something from it. I certainly watched something from it looking back on it. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up, and do hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I add new videos. This is the second one in 3 days, I think, so not too bad. Okay, thanks very much. Do subscribe if you haven't subscribed. That really helped me out. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.